All right, everybody, welcome to class. Thank you for coming to Algebra 1. This is your very first math class, and I know you're really excited. The most important thing that we need to know about algebra are your primes and your products, and that's what we're going to start with. So, a prime number is a number other than 1 whose only factors are 1 and itself. 2 is the first prime number. 3 is the next prime number. Then 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29. And here are the rest of the prime numbers up to the number 100, which you probably should know. Later on in algebra, these numbers become very important, and I can't stress that enough. Now you're going to learn about products. Products is basically the very same thing as a multiple of prime numbers. Well, that's not right correct. It's actually a multiplication, and it could be of many things. So we're going to do some exercises. We're going to write each number as a product of primes. So 33 is just the product of 3 times 11, which are both prime numbers. Notice that I'm using a dot to represent multiplication. In algebra, we don't use the little x anymore. We'll be using the dot. And often we'll also be using parentheses. In other words, here you can see 3 inside of the parentheses next to the 11 times inside the parentheses. This here is a multiplication. Another thing we need to get used to. The number 60, if you're going to write that as a product of primes, I would hope that you can recognize right away that that is 6 times 10. Excuse my mistakes, but that's how it's going to go this year. And notice here that the 6 is like a 3 times 2, and the 10 is like a 5 times 2. So our final answer should be 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. And notice I put the lower numbers on the left side and the higher numbers on the right side, keeping the values in order. That's just basic notation in algebra, also something we need to get used to. Now when you're dealing with big numbers like 98, notice it's an even number, so the first thing you want to do is find the multiple that is divided. That is 2 times whatever multiple that will give you 98. As it turns out, 2 times 49 is our product, but we want a product of primes. 2 is a prime, 49 is not yet a prime. Now here we have our final answer because 49 becomes 7 times 7. We have 2 times 7 times 7. All of these are prime numbers. We have our product of primes. For a number like 27, I would hope, and this is why multiplication is so important at this level, you should know right off the bat that 3 times 9 is 27. And that becomes 3 times 3 times 3, which is our final answer. For the number 20, again, I would hope that right away you could recognize that as 2 times 10. Which then becomes 2 times 2 times 5, which is our final answer. For 56, that should be remembered as the multiple of 8 times 7. The 8 turns into a 2 times 2 times 2, which is going to come up an awful lot in your math career if that's what you decide to take up. And then the 7 is left there. Here we have our final answer. Now here are a few more if you want to go through quickly. I've already done the work, but here they are finished for anybody who wants to continue on finding the prime of products. All right, everyone, thanks for joining us. This was your very first class. I'll see you in your next class, Algebra 1, Section 1.1b.